Hey students, welcome back to Lakshya Education Online. मेरा नाम है क्षितिज शर्मा and this is the episode number 3 of chapter number 1 Maths Standard 9. In the second episode we discussed exercise 1.1 from your NCERT textbook. Now in this episode we will start exercise 1.2. Before we start exercise 1.2 we have to get some more information about real numbers and irrational numbers. As we know that the set of real numbers is the set which contains rational numbers as well as irrational numbers. In this episode, we will discuss about irrational numbers and how to plot irrational numbers on a number line. So let us start episode number 3. Irrational numbers were first discovered by the followers of Pythagoras. Pythagoras was a Greek philosopher and mathematician. In approximately 400 BC, his followers, some of the mathematicians, discovered irrational numbers, and they defined irrational number as the numbers which cannot be written in p by q form. They are called irrational numbers. Some of the examples of irrational numbers we have seen in episode number 1. They are root 2, root 5, root 6, etc. Pi is also an irrational number, and they are not included in the set of rational numbers, but they are included in the set of real numbers. Later on, in the decade of 1870s, two German mathematicians, Georg Cantor and Dedekind, they explained how to show an irrational number on a number line. In earlier standard, we have seen how to show rational number on the number line. Now, in this chapter, in the further topic, we will discuss how to show an irrational number on number line. But before we see that, we have to know a very important principle or a very important theorem which is called Pythagoras theorem. So let us understand first of all Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem is a very important theorem in mathematics. It is applicable on a right angle triangle. We know what a right angle triangle is. A right angle triangle is a triangle in which one angle is right angle having measure 90 degree. The side opposite to the right angle is called hypotenuse. Here triangle ABC is a right angle triangle and angle B is a right angle. As AC is the opposite side of right angle, that's why it is called hypotenuse. Now let us understand what is the Pythagoras theorem. The statement of Pythagoras theorem is, in a right angle triangle, the square of the length of hypotenuse is equal to sum of the squares of the other two sides which form the right angle. Here hypotenuse is AC, so according to the theorem, AC square, that is the square of hypotenuse, is equal to sum of the squares of the other two sides which form right angle, that is AB square plus BC square. So this is the mathematical statement or the formula for Pythagoras theorem. AC square equals to AB square plus BC square, where AC is hypotenuse, angle B is right angle. From this we can also write that AB square plus BC square equals to AC square. Both are one and same. So this way, if two sides of a right angle triangle are given, then we can find the length of the third side. Let us take an example for this. Suppose in this triangle AB equals to 3 and BC equals to 4, and we have to find AC. Then we can apply Pythagoras theorem to find AC. We know that AC square equals to AB square plus BC square. Here AB is 3, therefore AC square equals to 3 square plus BC square means 4 square. 3 square equals to 9 plus 4 square equals to 16. 9 plus 16 is 25. So AC square equals to 25. We know that 25 is a square of 5. Therefore, we get AC equals to 5. So here we get, as AB equals to 3, BC equals to 4, we got AC equals to 5. Therefore, 3, 4 and 5 are called the Pythagorean triplet. Pythagorean triplet means the three numbers which follow the Pythagoras theorem. They are called Pythagorean triplet. If we take one more example in which we are given AB equals to 5, AC equals to 13, and we have to find BC. Now here hypotenuse is given and one of the sides of these two sides is given and we have to find the other side. Using Pythagoras theorem, we can use here AB square plus BC square equals to AC square. Let us apply the values. AB is 5, therefore 5 square plus BC, which we have to find, BC square equals to AC, and AC is 13, so it will be 13 square. We know 5 square equals to 25 plus BC square equals to 13 square is 169. Now if we want BC square, then BC square equals to 169. This 25 goes on the other side, will become negative. Therefore BC square equals to 169 minus 25, that will be 144. We know that 144 is square of 12. Therefore BC equals to 12. So this is the length of BC. This way we got a Pythagorean triplet where AB equals to 5, BC equals to 12 and AC equals to 13. Let us take one more example where AB equals to 1, BC equals to 1 and we have to find AC. Let us see, applying AB square plus BC square equal to AC square. AB equals to 1, therefore 1 square plus BC equals to 1, that is 1 square equals to AC square. So 1 square is 1 plus 1 square is 1 equals to AC square. 1 plus 1 is 2, so we get AC square equals to 2. Now we know that we cannot get the square root of 2. So AC square equals to 2, so AC will be root 2. Here the length of AC will be square root of 2. Here we cannot get the proper value of square root. So here we can say that the length of AC will be an irrational value. So finally we get here one more triplet where AB equals to 1, BC equals to 1 and AC equals to root 2. Similarly, if we take one more example where AB is given 1, BC is given root 2 and we have to find AC. Let us do the same thing. We want AC, therefore AC square equals to AB square plus BC square. AB is 1, 1 square plus BC is root 2, root 2 square. We know 1 square is 1, root 2 square. What is the square of root 2? It will be 2. Square root of 2, its square will be 2. 2 plus 1 will be 3. Therefore we got AC square equals to 3. But again we cannot get the square root of 3. Therefore AC will be square root 3. That is again an irrational number. So one more Pythagorean triplet we can get this way. If AB is 1, BC is root 2, then AC will be root 3. This way we can get many Pythagorean triplets. Now here we are going to understand how to locate an irrational number on the number line. First thing is locate root 2 on the number line. It is given in your textbook. There is an example number 3. For this we will use the principle of Pythagoras theorem. Let us do it. First of all, we will draw a number line. On the number line, first of all, we will take a point representing 0. We take a point O which indicates the number corresponding to 0. Now from this 0 point, that is the origin, at a particular distance, we will take a point A. This distance is considered to be 1 unit. So we will call this distance as 1 unit. You can take 3 centimeter or 4 centimeter, a fixed distance, as 1 unit, but it should be fixed. Now at this point A, we will draw a perpendicular line to this number line. Now the length of this perpendicular line segment should be equal to 1 unit, whichever you have taken on number line. Suppose you have taken this 3 centimeter, then you should draw this line 3 centimeter long. If you have taken it 4 centimeter, then this should also be 4 centimeter. But it should be same, which should be considered as 1 unit. So this OA is 1 unit and name this point as P. So this AP will also be 1 unit. Now here you have to draw OP. You can see here OA and AP are perpendicular, therefore angle A is a right angle, means a 90-degree angle. So in this right angle triangle, we can see that OP is hypotenuse. Now we can apply Pythagoras theorem on this triangle OAP, where angle A is 90-degree angle and OP is hypotenuse. According to Pythagoras theorem, square of hypotenuse, that is OP square, is equal to sum of the squares of other two sides, that is OA square plus AP square. Here OA is 1, therefore 1 square plus 1 square. 1 square is 1 plus 1 square is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So we got OP square equals to 2. Therefore we get OP equals to square root of 2. Square root of 2. This is the length of OP hypotenuse. Now this is length of hypotenuse, but we want to locate this root 2 on the number line. Now how to locate it on the number line? For that we can use a rounder. Using this rounder, we have to take O as the center and taking OP radius. We know that the length of OP is root 2, therefore this radius will be root 2. We have to draw an arc this way on the number line. If you draw this arc, as this OP distance is root 2, this arc will give you a distance equal to root 2 from point O on the number line. Therefore, this distance will also be root 2. And as this is 1, so this point is 1 and this point is root 2. Suppose we call it point B. This way we can locate root 2 on the number line. So in this case we can say that as OP equals to root 2, therefore OB is also root 2. Therefore on the number line, the point which locates root 2 is the point B. This way we can locate root 2 on the number line. Now next question in your textbook, example number 4, the question is locate root 3 on the number line. In the previous question we located root 2, now we have to locate root 3. The method will be same. Let us see how to do it. First of all, we will draw a number line. On the number line, we will take a point O which indicates the location of point 0. Now from point 0 at 1 unit distance, we will take a point A. Once again, this 1 unit distance can be any proper specific distance. It can be either 3 cm or 4 cm in your notebook. So this point is point A. This distance is 1 unit. So location of this point is 1 with respect to 0. Now again the same thing. We will draw a perpendicular line with the same length 1 unit. This line is AP. Here OA equals to AP equals to 1 unit. So we can write OA perpendicular AP and OA equals to AP equals to 1 unit. We can draw here OP. So in triangle OAP, angle A is right angle, so OP will become hypotenuse in this triangle. So we can write in triangle OAP, angle A equals to 90. It is right angle, therefore OP is hypotenuse. We can apply Pythagoras theorem on this triangle. We know that the square of hypotenuse, that is OP square, equals to sum of the squares of these two sides, that is OA square plus AP square. So it will be 1 square plus 1 square, 1 plus 1 equals to 2. So we got again OP square equals to 2. But we want OP, so OP will be square root of 2, the way which we did in the previous question. So we got OP equals to root 2. Now we will locate root 2 on the number line using rounder, taking O as center, OP radius, make an arc on number line. We will get a point on the number line. Suppose we call this point B. This point indicates root 2. This is the same thing which we have done in the previous question, but in this question we want root 3. To get root 3 we have to do up to here. Now further we have to do something more. Now at this point B we will make one more perpendicular line with the same length, 1 unit. It should be perpendicular to this number line. Suppose we name this as line BQ, and this distance BQ is again 1 unit. Now if we join O to Q, we will get one more triangle OBQ. Here we can see that in triangle OBQ, we can see OB is perpendicular to BQ. OB perpendicular to BQ. Length of OB is, it is O to B distance, which is root 2. So it is root 2 and BQ is 1 unit. Now we can see here angle B is right angle. OB perpendicular to BQ, therefore angle B is right angle. So in that case OQ will become hypotenuse. Applying Pythagoras theorem on triangle OBQ, we know that the square of hypotenuse, that is OQ square, equals to sum of the squares of other two sides, that is OB square plus BQ square. Here OB is root 2, therefore root 2 square plus BQ is 1 square. We know that root 2 square of root 2 is 2 plus 1 square is 1, 1 plus 2 is 3, therefore OQ square equals to 3. But we want OQ, therefore OQ will be square root of 3. This is OQ. So here we get the length of OQ equals to square root of 3. Now we want to locate this square root 3 on number line. Again the same method, using the rounder, taking O as center, OQ radius, OQ equals to root 3, make an arc on the number line, you will get a point and that point locates root 3. Suppose we call this point C. So this way we can locate number root 3 on the number line. This way we can locate further numbers on the number line by the same method. After understanding this, we will start exercise 1.2. Question number 1 is, state whether the following statements are true or false. We are given here 3 statements and we have to say whether they are true or false. Statement number 1 is, every irrational number is a real number. We know what irrational numbers are. Real number set is a set which contains rational numbers as well as irrational numbers. Means each and every rational number is a real number as well as each and every irrational number is also a real number. So here every irrational number is a real number. The statement is true. It is true statement. Now the second statement, we will take the second statement later on. Before that, let us take the third statement. It is, every real number is an irrational number. Both of these, first and third statement, are related to each other. The first statement says that every irrational number is a real number. It is true. The third statement says that every real number is an irrational number. This is false, because a real number can be a rational number, can be an irrational number. Every real number is irrational number. It is false statement. So this statement is false. Now the second statement. The statement is, every point on the number line is of the form root m, where m is a natural number. Here the statement means that on the number line, for every number we can obtain a root m value. This statement is false statement, because on the number line we can have positive numbers as well as negative numbers, but the square root of negative number cannot be obtained. So here for every point on the number line, the number of the form root m cannot be obtained. So this statement is a false statement. Now the next question is question number 2 from exercise 1.2. Question is, are the square roots of all the positive integers irrational? If not, then give an example of the square root of the number that is irrational number. Let us see. Are the square root of all the positive integers irrational? First of all, let us take an irrational. First of all, let us take a number, positive integer, suppose 2. Let us see what is the square root of 2. The square root of 2 is root 2. Now this number is natural number or integer and its square root is irrational number. So here this number has square root irrational number. Let us take 3. Its square root is root 3, again irrational number. But in case of all the integers, shall we get irrational number as the square root? Let us take one more number, 4. What is the square root of 4? The square root of 4 is root 4, and we know that the value of root 4 is 2, and 2 is a rational number, it is not irrational number. So according to the question, are the square roots of all the positive integers irrational? The answer is no. The square root of all the positive integers is not irrational number, and the example is square root of 4 is 2. One more number we can obtain, taking 9. 9 is a positive integer and its square root is root 9, and we know that this value of root 9 is 3. This is again a rational number. So there are many positive integers whose square roots are not irrational numbers, they are rational numbers, and these are the examples. Now let us take the next question in the exercise 1.2, question number 3. Show how root 5 can be represented on the number line. In the previous questions we have seen how to show root 2 and root 3 on the number line. Now let us show root 5 directly on the number line. For that, first of all, we will draw a line for number line, taking a point O representing 0. Now from O we will take a number at a particular distance. In the earlier questions we had taken this distance as 1 unit and the perpendicular distance as 1 unit. But here we will do it different way. Here we will take this distance as 2 units and this as 1 unit. Why we will take so? Because 2 and 1, 2 square will be 4 and 1 square will be 1, 4 plus 1 will be 5. So we will get 5 according to the Pythagoras theorem. Let us do it. Here you have to take this distance as 2 unit. If you are taking 1 unit equals to 3 centimeter, then you have to take 2 units equal to 6 centimeter in your notebook. If you are taking 1 unit equals to 4 centimeter, then you have to take 2 units equals to its double, 8 centimeter. So this distance is considered to be 2 units. So that point A will indicate point 2 on the number line. Now we have to take this perpendicular distance. 1 unit means it should be half of this distance. Suppose I call it AP, and AP will be 1 unit, it is half of this OA distance. We draw a line OP, so here we get triangle OAP as right angle triangle. We can write the information of this triangle. Here OA equals to 2 unit and AP equals to 1 unit. OA is perpendicular to AP, therefore angle A equals to 90. Here we have right angle triangle OAP. Therefore in triangle OAP, hypotenuse square, that is OP square, equals to OA square plus AP square. Here OA is 2, therefore 2 square plus AP is 1 square. We know that OP square equals to 2 square is 4 plus 1 square is 1, 4 plus 1 is 5. OP square equals to 5, but OP will be the square root of 5. Therefore we get OP equals to square root of 5. This is the length of this OP, square root of 5. Now we want this square root 5 on number line. So we will use again rounder, taking O as the center, OP radius as OP equals to root 5, therefore making an arc on this number line. We get a point B, which indicates root 5. So this point B indicates root 5 on number line. So this way we can show root 5 on number line directly, taking this distance 2 unit and this distance 1 unit. Root 5 can be obtained directly on the number line. Now using the same concept, you can obtain some other numbers directly on the number line. What you can do? Taking this distance as 3 units and this distance as 1 unit. Suppose this is 3 centimeter, then it's 3 times this should be 9 centimeter. Then this distance can be directly obtained using the Pythagoras theorem. 3 square plus 1 square equals to 9 plus 1 equals to 10. So this length will be root 10 using this method. So you can directly obtain root 10 on the number line. Similarly, you can obtain root 17 on the number line. So you have to obtain root 10 and root 17 on the number line by this method. This is the work that you have to do yourself. Using the same method, obtain root 10 and root 17 on the number line directly. So students, this was exercise 1.2 from your textbook. This is very important method for your exam. So do more and more practice for these kind of questions. This is the end of episode number 3. In the next episode, we will continue the chapter and we will do the further exercise. Till then, keep studying online with Lakshya Education Online.